Okay, hi guys, and welcome to the show. And of course, having another after work coffee so I can motivate myself to make another video. Not so tired today, but anyway, hanging in there. Now, we have a lot coming up in today's show. In a little while, we'll have my initial impressions and unboxing of the Tissot Visodate. Been promising it for so long, so finally it's here. I'm really excited because it's a gorgeous looking watch. You guys know I'm quite a Tissot fan. Actually, I've owned quite a few of them. I think my first Swiss piece actually was a Tissot. I might have to do a biography, a watch biography at some point. And you guys know I've recently bought back the that beautiful little Genero. Gorgeous piece. Anyway, talking of watches, what else am I going to talk about, right? I've got to do my wristwatch check. Keeping it very simple today. Just wearing the classic, the most iconic watch you can buy for $10, and that is of course the Casio F91W. Just love this piece. I've got it on a little 18mm camouflage NATO, of course. What else am I going to put it on? But it's very fun. Haven't worn it for a while, so I'm just getting back that nostalgic, going down memory lane. Absolutely love it. So wristwatch check done. Now, before we get to the Visodate, let's do the full review. You've seen it in the intro, that gorgeous Oris 65, the Carl Brashear special edition. A very cool watch indeed, and I feel so privileged. Massive thank you to Patrick for lending it in. So let's take a closer look. Today we are finally reviewing the Oris 65, but this is no ordinary 65. This is the Carl Brashear limited edition. So I'm very excited to get into this one because it's quite a unique piece indeed. Now the reference number is 0173377203185. Now this particular special edition was introduced at Bezel World in 2016, and basically it's apart from a few special features, the first thing you'll notice is its 3-part bronze case, which instantly differentiates it from the standard Oris 65, as well as some other little details which we'll get into in just a moment. Who is Carl Brashear? Well, he was the first African-American diver to become a master diver in the US Navy, and this was despite having his leg amputated, overcoming great difficulties with discrimination at the time, and of course coming from a very impoverished background. He overcame all of this hardship and through determination and became a master diver. So incredible feat, and who else to pay tribute than Oris? It just goes to show what a fantastic brand Oris is. They really do recognize excellence. And guys, you know my undying love for Oris. It's a fully independent brand for over 100 years, from Switzerland, founded in 1904 as we see there, and they really are an incredible watchmaker with really actually recently, the last few years especially, really pushing the limits and innovating with some really cool watches. If we look at their dive watches, the Oris Aquis with their depth gauge, analog depth gauge, is a perfect example of this innovation. Now, before I get into the watch, I must point out that it comes in an extremely luxurious box. You'll see it in the unboxing. If you missed it, I did the unboxing I think a month ago now, and I do apologize. I'm very behind with my reviews, but anyway, incredible beautiful wooden box and a plaque with which is the same as this, which has his motto, which is, "It's not a sin to get knocked down, it's a sin to stay down," and this was a personal motto that he lived by. So if we open the special booklet that comes with this limited edition, inside pictures of the man himself. There he is, Carl Brashear. He was from Kentucky originally, if I remember correctly. He passed away in 2006, sadly. However, in 2000 there was a film made about his life, and he was depicted by Cuba Gooding Jr., if I recall correctly. Robert De Niro was in it as well, and that's Men of Honor. Really great film. Check it out if you want to find out more about this hugely iconic and important man, not only to diving, but I think American military history certainly, and American history in general. A watch to honor the great man, and there's the box I was just talking about. So anyway, let's get into the review. Let's have a look at the watch itself. So first of all, obviously, it's got that 3-part bronze case. Now bronze is a really interesting material, especially for a dive watch. It's actually the perfect material for a dive watch. Its history being used by man is as old as horology, as the history of horology itself. You know, finding its first form in weaponry around the same time water clocks first appeared, actually I think about 4000 BC. It's mankind's oldest alloy, and varying in combinations can actually pack quite a high Vickers hardness rating, definitely higher than iron and stainless steel combined. So bronze is also highly anti-magnetic and also resists corrosion, especially caused by seawater. So as you can see, perfect for a watch. Now they have put a steel case back, which is twofold, mainly because this area will have contact with the skin. Some people are actually allergic to bronze, so that does eliminate some contact with the skin, and also I think it kind of differentiates and provides a different surface for this beautiful engraving. And as you can see down at the bottom, only limited to 2,000 pieces, so this is number 1508 of 2000. An incredible engraving with lots of beautiful textures going on, and there's his helmet, and with his motto of course on the back. One of the most beautiful caseback engravings I've ever seen. Just absolutely exquisitely done. Just incredible detail. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Anyway, back to bronze. So when exposed to seawater, salt water, it actually shields itself from further contamination and generates a kind of patina. This is a patina of copper oxide, and it does discolor, but it actually it kind of protects itself from further corrosion, which is an incredible ability, and it just makes it ideal alloy for a dive watch. And it does have a very interesting finish. It's brushed, of course. You don't get that high mirror finish you can achieve with stainless steel, but the bronze itself is also a kind of nod to his helmet, the helmet you see here, which was made out of this particular type of bronze. So the color and everything, it's a kind of nod to Carl Brashear. Also, the choice of this leather strap, from what I've learned, I mean, it's a really beautiful leather, really chunky and thick. It's based on the leather straps that was used on his diving gear. And then finally, the dial itself, this deep, deep, rich blue. In some lights it looks like royal blue, and then others, when in less light, it looks almost black. That again to reflect the ocean, obviously. And it's a beautiful, beautiful hue of blue. It's very rich, kind of tends to get a bit darker towards the edge of the dial. So let's get the dimensions out of the way. Turn the calipers on. I must state there is sellotape on the calipers. Got a diameter of 42 millimeters. Lug to lug we're looking at 50. Thickness of 13, and then lug width 21. So a more contemporary size. During the 70s, in Carl Brashear's day, obviously dive watches were a little bit smaller, but nonetheless it's not overbearingly large, and at the same time still very, very visible and legible. Let's talk about this dial. Now first of all, we got gold gilded hands, very, very boxy and square. Applied markers with a superluminova that has old radium in it to give it that kind of patinaed look. In fact, while we're on the loom, let's have a quick look at the loom shot. And as you can see, very, very responsive, especially on the hands and the loom pip on the bezel. It's not the brightest on the dial, but I have a feeling that's something to do with the radium super luminova that they've gone for, but all the same, decent loom, and it does last for a reasonable time. Anyway, back to the studio. Okay, welcome back. So then we got this really kind of exaggerated minutes track running around the outside. Beautiful triangle at 12 o'clock, and stick batons at 9 and 3, and then at the bottom we have the date in negative framed there beautifully symmetrical. I really like how they've done that. You don't even notice it at first, but I really like that. The applied markers are done beautifully. I really like the size. The bezel, we have a 120 click bezel. The action to it is quite solid. What you'd come to expect from an Oris. We have a little loom pip at the 12 o'clock. The markings are engraved, and it's to touch, it's beautiful. That's what's interesting about bronze. It feels so different. It doesn't feel like any other metal. I'm almost kind of not used to it, but it does have a lovely kind of feel to it. And I love this. It's not a flat color. Some of it's darker, some of it's lighter. Beautiful signed crown. It does jut out a bit. I would have liked crown guards, but I understand they're trying to go for that retro aesthetic. It is slightly concerning how much it does stick out. The bezel is beautifully done, I must admit. They've got this lovely domed sapphire, you know, distorts at an angle, and some people don't like that, but I really do like it. I think head-on it's works perfectly. It's got anti-reflective coating on the inside. The crown is of course screw down. When you unscrew it, it pops out very nicely. Inside we have what is called the Oris 733, which is basically a Sellita 200. Now this is the 200-1, so a slightly improved version on the standard Sellita 200. From what I recall, they changed the shape of the teeth on the winding wheel, I think it was. I might be wrong about that, but very minor changes. It just made it a little bit more robust. That's basically it. So still performing as impeccably well as the SW200, the standard version. It is of course hackable, as you see there. I pulled it out of the way, and we have instantaneous date change. It's based on the ETA 2824. Operates at 28,800 beats per hour, so we got a nice little sweep to it. Wind, obviously. This is a movement that I've you know had countless times in various other Orises. It performs impeccably well. You've got a 38-hour power reserve in there, and from my experience, it's a tiny bit more accurate than even the ETA that it's based on. That is a clone of. I swear by this movement. I think they're great. They're extremely reliable, affordable to repair and service. Really outstanding movements. You know, it's not horology, but at the end of the day, it's a dive watch. It's not, you know, it's it's not a dress watch. But anyway, so that's pretty much the movements. Bidirectional rotating red rotor inside, although we can't see it. It's what I would expect in a dive watch like this. Now, this watch has 100 meters water resistance, which, let's be honest, for a diver is a little weak, especially in today's world. But I mean, you know, I have dress watches with as much water resistance as this. But having said that, we've got to remember that they're trying to go in for that retro vibe, and you know, dive watches of that era pretty much had that depth rating. It would have been nice to see 200 meters and above. It's a little bit weird that depth rating isn't more. I do kind of, you know, especially as a dive watch. But then again, this is a special edition. Are you actually going to go diving in it? You know, these are all questions that the owner will have to figure out, I guess. Maybe it's a bit too special for diving. It's a shame. It would be nice to actually go diving in it. And the other thing is that you wouldn't wear this leather strap diving. It's positioned itself quite strangely, even though I do understand the reference to Brashear's diving equipment or diving gear with the leather straps, because this is way before. I love how they've done the gold gilded hands and matched it with the bronze case. I wouldn't go for the bronze myself. It's quite an acquired taste. They have matched it with the buckle, of course, and you can really see the beautiful kind of colours and rich changes in texture on the buckle, more so than the actual case itself, the main head of the watch. Probably do well value-wise because it's so rare. Only 2,000 of these worldwide, so quite special, and definitely a beautiful way to commemorate a very brave and important figure in the history, in nautical history in general. So let's do a quick wrist shot. Okay, so there we go on my skinny little wrist. It's quite a wide one, but it's got a lovely slim profile. Despite that domed crystal, it wears extremely well. It's very light. It's only about 93 grams. It's not the heaviest of watches. Feels very solid, very robust. The finish of it is impeccable. It's what you'd expect from Oris. These watches are not going to be cheap, obviously, because it's the limited edition, and I suspect the price will probably go up as they become harder to find. It wears remarkably well. The lugs don't curve down that much, but it's at the very limit of what my tiny little girly wrist can take. But having said that, it's very, very comfortable. My only two criticisms of this watch is its fairly low depth rating, and the crown does protrude a little bit too much. I've had a very bad experience with a crown that didn't have crown guards. I put my hand in my pocket, it caught on the edge of my jean pocket and bent. I'm a little bit wary of crowns that stick out too much. Having said that, it's a beautiful design. I love the retro look they've gone for. It does look of that period. It's one of the few times that faux patina really, really works. My favourite features are definitely the bezel. I love the engraved bezel. It has a really nice tactile feel to it. The finish, the quality is definitely there. It's what you'd expect from Oris. Very special watch, absolutely gorgeous. And I've got to say a massive thank you to Patrick for allowing me to review this watch. It's a bit of history. It's something you don't see every day. And it's another winner from Oris, definitely. Okay guys, so I'm going to leave it there. Let's take it back to the studio. So without further ado, I'm not going to delay any longer because I don't want this video to go on too long. Let's check out the initial impressions and unboxing of the Tissot Visodate. I know I've been promising a review of this particular piece for the longest time, so massive thank you to Jason, who's in the Facebook group, for sending this in. I am of course using the little Kershaw leak, one of my favourite knives of all time, designed by Ken Onion, of course. So let's open her up. Wow, I haven't seen a Tissot box since my teens. As you guys know, I've owned many Tissot, and they have an incredible history. I love the way they wow, 1853 all the way until now. I love how they put their history on the box. Very, very cool indeed. So you guys pretty much know what this is because you've all been requesting it. Oh wow, this really brings back memories. Fantastic. And of course you get a book, this whole story of the watch company. Wow, I'm really getting deja vu from this. One of my first Swiss watches was actually a Tissot, so this is quite special. Anyway, let's open her up. Drum roll please. Oh, there she is. There she is. And I remember the little hidden compartments with the manuals. That's pretty cool. It's cool that they got the same box. It's a really nice way to present the watch. Oh, now look at that. Long overdue. It's already running from the movement of the box alone. My God, that is gorgeous. Oh, look at the display back. My God, I think this is going to give the Saab definitely a run for its money. Beautiful black dial. Just bring in my own Tissot. If you see on the dial, they've signed it with the old school, old-fashioned italicized Tissot logo. This is the 1930s. Beautiful. Oh, look at those applied batons. Gorgeous. No loom. Beautiful. Look at those sword hands. They look razor sharp. It's gorgeous. Signed crown. My God, have we got a watch that's gonna take the crown from the Saab at this price level? And he's put it on this beautiful strap. I don't know which, I presume that's the original strap. This is a very, very nice kind of racing perforated strap. Very nice indeed. Then he's put the Tissot. I've got exactly the same clasp. Oh, let's put it on, let's put it on. Ooh, it's gorgeous. Wow, there we go. I could tell it's a little bit too big for me. I don't know, actually, it fits pretty well, I must say. It's obviously I'd like it a little bit smaller. That's just my skinny little wrist. Day date there, just a beautiful dial. It's so tastefully done. God, it is pure class. It really is everything I expected. That, sorry about the light, it's extremely reflective in here, you can see everything. So my initial impression as well, possibly I'm going to dual it with the Saab 033 because they're around about the same price, but I can tell you the Tissot quality, that Swiss made quality, is definitely there. Sapphire crystal, look at that lovely gold rotor, and they've even put a little bit of Côte de Genève finishing on the rotor. Very, very nice. Lovely display back. Yeah, it's not the most highly decorated movement. I think there's like one blued screw there, but it's still pretty to look at. It's still nice. I mean, for a first mechanical piece, gorgeous. You couldn't, I mean, this would last you a lifetime. This you could hand down to the next generation and be proud of. You know, for only, I mean, how much are these going for? 400? I can't remember. I love there's a slight slope. It's almost like a kettle. I love that. I love that. I really like that. Beautiful fin. Anyway, guys, I'm kind of drooling all over it. I will stop now because otherwise I'll just automatically go into a full review. I'm going to wear it for a few days, see how I feel, and follow up with a review. And of course, a duel with famous champion of this price range, the Saab 033 for similar priced dress watch. Anyway, guys, let's take it back, not to the studio, but let's take it back to the outro. Oh yeah, is it gonna give the Saab a run for its money? If I have time, I will duel it as well. So let me know your thoughts, queries, questions, opinions, all the rest of it down below in the comments, please. Thank you very, very much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it and found it useful. It really does help me, so please don't forget to hit that like button. And as always, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.